Hey friends, and welcome to the Happy Hour with Jamie Ivey podcast. I am your host, Jamie, and the Happy Hour is a show where each week I invite a girlfriend to join me and we talk about the big things in life, the small things, and everything in between. Today's show is sponsored by Raven and Lily. And most of you know, if you've listened for a while, that I love to support social businesses, and one of my favorites in Austin is based right here, and it is called Raven and Lily. Raven and Lily is an ethical lifestyle and fashion brand. They are dedicated to empowering women through design, supporting over 1,000 artisans across 8 countries, including Ethiopia, India, Pakistan, and even right here in the U.S. These partnerships offer sustainable employment and a living wage. If you come to Austin, they have a storefront here right over on East Manor. You can shop there, or you can visit them online at ravenandlily.com. And just for you happy hour listeners, Raven and Lily is offering a discount of 15% off by using the code Happy Hour. So check them out. Guys, today is my 50th episode, and I feel so excited about this. Like, I wish that I was Oprah and I could just start screaming and throwing cars at you and throwing all kinds of stuff at you. But I just want to let you know, I want to say thank you. For real, when I started this idea of what my podcast would look like or turn into, I had no idea where we were going to go with it, and I am just beyond proud of where we've ended up. Each week I hear from you guys about how much you not only love the show, but you're encouraged by the conversations. And that is really why I do this. I mean, I love having a podcast, but my number one reason that I love doing this is because of you, the listener. You guys write in and tell me how much you related to the conversation, or you tell me how you were dying laughing in your kitchen while you were cooking, and that is what I love about the Happy Hour. If this is your first time, I want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. There's 49 other amazing shows before this one that you should go check out. And if you've been here for every single show, I want to sincerely say thank you. Thank you for continuing to listen. Thank you for continuing to support the Happy Hour. Today's guest is my friend Jen Hatmaker. And Jen was one of my very first guests. In fact, she was on episode number 2. So if you want to go back and listen to the first time we chatted a little over a year ago, Jen was on that show. Jen is mom to 5, pastor's wife, speaker, and writer, and just yesterday, her newest book, entitled For the Love, released, and we talk about it a lot in this show. Today we chat about her book, obviously. We talk about me trying to watch Gilmore Girls, which I'm sad to say since we recorded this, I still have not watched another episode, but I think I might need to give it a try because so many of you guys told me you loved it. We chat about our supper club that we're in. Jen talks about her process of learning to write and what that looks like. We talked about chatting with our kids about race issues, the books we're reading and loving, and of course, Jen's 3 favorite things. We have some great giveaways for you. Seriously, Jen is giving away some books, plus some bracelets, plus, you know the earrings that you love that Jen and I wear? Well, our friend Tiffany is giving some away, so listen to the end of the show because I'm going to tell you how you can win, and there's a discount code. You're going to love it, guys. Keep in mind that with the original air date when we recorded this show was going to be August 5th, and then you all know my computer blew up and I had to wait 2 weeks to get another one, so whatever. Here we are, August 19th. Here's the new show. Her book just came out yesterday. You should really check it out. If you haven't subscribed to the Happy Hour, it is super easy. Head on over to jamieivey.com/iTunes. That's all you needed to remember. You can subscribe right there. You can leave a rating or review there, which, believe it or not, the rating and review is not just so like I feel good about my show, but it helps other people find the show. iTunes uses those to promote your show. So anyhow, I would love it if you did that for me. Guys, everything we chatted about, if there's a link for it, I'm going to put it on my website for you. So don't stress about not knowing where to go. I'll put it all up on my webpage, jamieivey.com. So if you listen and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know where she got that book, or I want to know where she got that candle, or I need to know about these earrings, I'm going to help you out, guys. jamieivey.com for all the links. Guys, thanks for listening. You're going to love the show with Jen. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, a glass of wine, run harder on the treadmill, fold more laundry, enjoy your commute. Whatever you're doing while you're listening, I hope you enjoy it. All right, Jen, welcome to the Happy Hour.
Woo!
This is actually your second time around.
It is. It is. I don't know which show we did together the first time, but it feels like it's been 6 months.
No, it was like over a year ago. That's
Time
life.
passes.
Yeah, there you go.
Time passes.
You were my very second guest ever.
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Congrats on your 50th.
This is 50th.
That's outstanding.
I kind of want to be like, you know how when the TV shows have like the cake, you know, like they made it to like 500 episodes or whatever. I'm like, it's 50.
That's amazing. And you've just had so many great guests on here, people that we love, people that we think are so interesting.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I will tell you this. I'm getting a request for a guest. I hope that she takes this as endearing. I don't know who she is that well because I don't have cable.
Oh,
But
well,
she's
you know
one
why?
of your good friends.
Hit me with it.
Joanna.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like the biggest
Yes.
loser because I don't have cable, so I've never seen her show. I know who she is,
haven't?
obviously. I don't think so. But my
Jamie.
girlfriend and I went to Waco, and she made me go to her store, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, no, it's too much. It's too cute. Sometimes when you tell me that you don't have cable, which I know, I wonder how we've managed such a good friendship all this time.
But I do have Apple TV, so I get to watch things.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about this. The other day, you texted me and said, hey, or tweeted or something, we're chatting. What shows do you watch that we can talk about? And you mentioned Gilmore Girls.
Okay, it's true.
How far are you in?
Well, let me just tell you something. First of all, Gilmore Girls came out in 2000. Okay,
A long
so
time, yes.
in the year 2000, well, first of all, we were all just trying to survive Y2K.
Oh, we barely made it.
I know, right? I had a lot of water. And but Gavin, my oldest son, had just turned 2. Sydney was just born. She was born in 2000. And we moved to Austin in 2000.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's just like complete and total upheaval, like total chaos. This is my point is, I didn't watch Gilmore Girls the first time around. Hello. I don't even think I ever watched 1 minute of TV in 5 years. All I did was like nurse and put out fires. So I just missed it. But the thing is, this is what's funny. People have been telling me, I promise you, for years and years and years, like, Jen, you remind me of Lorelai Gilmore. You don't know who this is.
I do because I started watching since you tweeted me.
Stop.
Oh, I've seen 3, okay?
All right.
I've seen 3, yeah.
You know what? I feel very tender to you right now that you did that.
For
So
you.
I've been hearing about the show. Like, people just told me, I know what you like. We know that you would like this show. And so it's summer, obviously. It's
Yes.
summer because we know this because the kids are all home.
Yes.
And I had a little bit of a lull in my summer. It's about to be over. But anyhow, I was like, I need a new show. And I don't know what happened, but it became Gilmore Girls. And so now I have a real problem. But I'm still in the first season.
Oh,
so I'm
me
not
too,
sure.
yeah.
The dialogue is so snappy, right?
It's very snappy. I'll tell you my problem.
Too much talking?
Nope. I keep seeing her as the mom from Parenthood.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that either. So I have no interest. I'm fresh.
See, you're
I'm
fresh. I look at her and see her as her character on Parenthood, and so it throws me for a loop.
I see. Is that a good character on Parenthood?
I loved her character. They're kind of the same a little bit. They're both kind of like just trying to get by and single mom in it and like working their tail off to have their kids have great stuff. Yeah. So
interesting. I like her. What do you think of the show so far? I just think it's as cute as pie. That's how I think about it.
Okay, it's not a show that I would really watch. That's what's hard for me. I don't know why though. Why?
What do you mean? Like you have it on the TV, but then you just keep going about your life? What do you mean you don't really watch it?
It feels like the show I'm knee deep into right now is Nashville.
Oh, yes.
And so we're looking at something that was made in 2014 versus something made in 2000.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when Aaron tried to make me watch The West Wing.
Oh, you couldn't do it?
I couldn't do it. I don't know. I think that TV has just, I can't handle, I don't even know what I can't handle. I'm blabbering. I don't know. But I have so many people tell me, you have to watch Gilmore Girls. It's the best show ever made.
It's pretty cute, but what is hard to handle are all those turtlenecks. Because, you know, it's really, really funny to me because that was 15 years ago. And so I'm like, oh, I remember when all the boys wore their hair like that, like parted down the middle. And I think Aaron
and I were dating then. And so
has a picture of his hair like that.
Oh,
I've seen it with my eyes. Yes.
And they kind of bleach the tips and stuff. That's total.
It was a hard time to be a boy. Anyway, I'm all in here. Like the problem is Brandon doesn't want to watch it with me. I can't imagine why.
But I bet Sydney does.
Well, I wanted her to, but she's so busy with her own life.
Oh,
it makes me so.
Yeah.
You know, they turn into teenagers and they've like have friends, and I don't know what they're doing, but they don't always just want to do what I want to do anymore. And Brandon's like, yeah, no, because you know how you get into a show with your husband. We've 100 times, you know.
Yeah.
I'm by myself on Gilmore Girls, so I promise you, Jamie, I promise. In fact, I think you and I were tweeting about it at midnight. I start watching it at like 11:30 or midnight.
Like in bed or in your little office or where?
Well, it just depends. But I'm by
wherever no one's around.
Yes, and I can only log like 1 or 2 episodes at the most because I'm tired.
Yeah.
So that's why, normally I'd be done by now. I mean, I'm so sure 2 weeks into a show, I'd be finished.
For sure. Okay, so since we're talking about TV, there's another show that I've never seen that you mentioned. You talk about all the time.
Really? So you think you can dance?
Yes!
Okay,
listen. So let me just tell you this. I started it this week. This Jason Derulo guy.
Yeah.
He is so cute. Do you think he's so cute?
Oh my God, that is so funny.
I mean, not like I'm like stumbling and can't watch it, but he is so cute.
He's adorable. Now, here's what you don't know because you're not a lifer here on this show.
Is he dirty?
He's new. That's what
okay.
You're funny right now about him. I don't know if he's dirty. I don't know. I'm not his neighbor.
No, I don't know him as an artist. Like, I don't know, like, what kind of music does... I have no idea. That's what I mean.
It's cute.
That's all I know. He's cute.
He's real dancey.
Yeah.
Like you can imagine it in your head.
Yes.
He's a new judge this season, so I don't have history with Jason yet. And Paula is a new judge. Of course, we have history with her with American Idol, which I'm still a fan. I don't even care.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of a new cast of characters. Here's my point. Listen, just you can trust me about this.
I'm in.
This week marks the start of the top 20. This is really when the show begins. I mean, this is when they come out with their choreographers have given them dances. They're partnered. This is when the whole thing gets beautiful. So I don't know what you've done thus far. Are you all caught up?
No, we just started watching on Hulu, so we've watched 2 episodes. Should we just skip them and go to...
Skip.
Okay.
Skip all the tryouts.
Okay.
Just get to top 20
okay.
and go from there. You'll just freak out. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll freak out. Me and my sister Courtney, well, we're obsessed and we text during the show, but we cry. Like, we cry over it.
I've heard you say this.
I'm not even joking. Like, it's so, like, beautiful and meaningful.
Tell me this, because you're way ahead of me. The couple that met last season and now they're engaged, are they still in it?
It doesn't matter if I spoil, right?
No, I don't know.
No, they're not in it.
Okay.
The boy got cut first.
Because he wasn't good.
Went further, and she got cut kind of at the 11th hour.
Okay.
But you know what? They have love.
They have love. And love will take you further than dance.
Too far.
Here's a funny story. We're watching it, and I'm watching it with my kids. It's kind of like American Idol. I love shows like that to watch with the family,
Totally.
So the kids that are home with me this week, I have my nephew who's 7, Story 7, and then Amos and Deacon 9 and 10. And someone comes on and they're doing something a little like risque.
Grindy.
Grindy.
Yeah.
And I'm in the other room and I just hear Deacon go, Mom, I think we should fast forward. And I was like, oh, precious. So, Jen, I haven't seen you in a long time.
I mean, this happens to us every summer.
It happens every summer.
You know that, right? Like, we just, every single summer, we have a big hurrah in May because, well, y'all's schedule is bonkers.
Yeah, we're out pretty early in May because we're year-round.
Well, you're year-round. I want to talk about that, too, because this is the time of year when I envy you the most.
Well, here's what happens. I tell people during around May or the beginning of summer, I'm like, oh, we're year-round. We go back at the end of the July. I'm like, oh, gosh, that sucks. And I always say, just call me around July 28th and let me know if you still think that you hate it.
Absolutely. It's the right amount of time. Like,
perfect.
You end up getting,
we had 9 weeks this year.
That is plenty.
Or 8. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I know.
I just think year-round school is a really, really smart schedule.
Yep.
Because also, I'm envious of you in the fall where you're getting 2 weeks off.
Yes.
Right about the time we're feeling janky about homework and all that. And it just makes more sense for kids. I mean, a lot of my teacher friends have done all sort of the research on that and just said developmentally, it makes so much more sense to keep them sort of learning throughout the year instead of having this month. We have 12 weeks off this summer. What in the land?
Especially for a kid. I know you have a child who might struggle in school. I have one that struggles in school. It just makes sense that they don't have to have that big of a break for their brain.
Absolutely it does. And it's kind of bad for even the kids by the end of our summer are at each other, over it, bored. I mean, I'm telling you, and we have done a lot to like keep the needle moving forward on like activity, but good night. It's just too long. And so I know every single summer when your kids go back in July, I just think that's about right because they get out about the same time, right? Maybe you got out.
We got out like maybe a week and a half before y'all.
Yes. Anyways, I'm so ready to see you again because this is ridiculous.
I know. So if you listen to us in our second episode, we talked about our supper club, and so we're going to hiatus in the summer.
We honestly, I don't think we've ever had a supper club in the summer. We've tried.
No, we've traveled.
Hard. We've tried.
Yeah.
But Aaron is gone like the month of July.
Aaron's gone. He's writing a book.
I know.
Which is super fun.
I know. How's that going?
It's okay. So this book that he's writing, I hope it's okay that I talk about it. I'll ask him. Okay. So this book that he's writing is and I say this wrong every time. It's a historical fiction, right? It's
fiction or it's nonfiction?
Okay.
It's true or it's not true?
They're making a story around true things.
Oh, I didn't know.
So is that historical
fiction.
or maybe historical I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
I am like
You're
the
a good
best
marketer
wife.
for
Yes.
Aaron's new book.
I know. You're going to love it, let me tell you. No, he's writing a book. Yeah, it's a story about Charles Spurgeon.
Yeah.
And so they have been studying Charles Spurgeon's life and everything about it. And so they are creating a story based on true events. So here's the thing. Like I've read a chapter. Some of the stuff in there might not have happened just like that, but there's also very true stuff in there, if that makes sense. But they're not changing his character. They're not changing his life story.
Yeah. Okay. I did not realize that. I thought it was more like an autobiography.
No, it's not an autobiography. It's a story.
Okay, well, that's way more interesting.
And way hard, right?
I would not even know how to write one sentence of that.
Like, I know. I was with him last week and he was working, and he literally came out of the room and had after 5 hours, and he's like, here's the paragraph I wrote. And I was like, oh dear Lord, this is so hard. I mean, it's so hard.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm excited for him. That's just a real stretch of creativity.
Oh my gosh.
Just a real test of it all. But I can't wait to read it. Anyway, so he's doing that this summer. When does he need to be done?
I think they have a year to do it.
Okay.
So they're busting out a lot now, and then he's writing it with a friend, and they both have jobs, and so it's kind of one of those things.
So let me tell you this real quick about Supper Club.
Uh-huh.
We always come back with a vengeance in August. We're always so
yes.
we know how this goes. We know the rhythm. But you know that I wrote about Supper Club and For the Love. And
I love it.
I sent you guys all the essays.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But what's so cute now is that so a bunch of people have read it at this point. So my launch team has read the whole book, and pre-orders, got to do the download. So it's out there enough that people have read it. And so the response to Supper Club is so strong.
What is it that they love?
People, as a matter of fact, I did a feature story with Austin Woman. Do you know that magazine?
Yes.
Here?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it's the cover story, and they came out and we did this whole thing at the house and all this photo shoot. Anyhow, the editor got a copy of the book in advance and read it, and so she has a whole sidebar just about Supper Club because she thought it was so fascinating.
That is so fun.
She's like, send me the rules about Supper Club and how does it work? And then my agent Curtis and his wife Karen, after reading the manuscript, almost a year ago when I turned it in, started their own Supper Club in California in Orange County.
She told me that when I saw her. Yes.
Isn't that cute?
It's so fun. That actually, after we did our last podcast, that's what people asked me about the most. Tell me about your Supper Club. I want to have a Supper Club. How do you do this with kids? Da, 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 da. And so,
listen, we have got something. I'm telling you, we are outsourcing Supper Club to the masses.
Well, and what we say at every Supper Club is we need a cookbook.
I know.
Because we have some great cooks in our Supper Club.
Outstanding, actually. I mean,
you're one of them.
Well, I put Aaron's recipe in the book.
Oh, that's right.
Remember? I literally had him send it to me. And you know what he did, Jamie? This is so Aaron. I'm like, I sent him a text, and I was like, this is random, but do you by chance know where you got that recipe, or do you still have that recipe for the braised lamb? And he was like, I have it all annotated in Evernotes. I used my recipe and then made notes of the way I adjusted. I'm like, oh my stars.
I tell him all the time, he needs a cooking show because this is what will happen. And you can do this too. So this is how y'all work. I'll go into the kitchen and be like, guys, we have to go out to eat. There's nothing to eat.
Right.
Aaron's like, I'll do it. He goes in the kitchen and we sit down to dinner and we have like appetizers. We have like this amazing meal that I said, where'd you get this recipe? I just thought of it.
Yeah, I thought of it.
I just did it.
I know. He's like a natural cook. He has just a natural ability in the kitchen that is his instincts on flavors and
so good.
It's so good. I mean, I think he's our best cook in Supper Club.
And let me tell you what I've realized, and I think I've come to terms with this summer. I'm always trying a new way of eating to lose 5 pounds. It's the story of my life. Like
totally.
But I realize it's impossible in this house.
No.
Because I'll be like, Aaron, I just need a grilled chicken breast and steamed broccoli. And he's like, I don't do that.
How about this onion marmalade?
Yes.
I know, it's not his way. And you know what? You're the better for it. Let's be
honest.
Well,
that's where I said, I don't care.
No.
What am I going to eat? Grilled chicken and lose 5 pounds or eat what Aaron makes?
I mean, I'm so serious. Listen, life is too short for that 5 pounds to not eat Aaron's food.
Yes.
I'm so real. I know he should have a show and we could just be on it. Like we could just...
You could be the guest.
Color commentary and he could like actually produce the food. But he's funny.
He's funny. Yeah. I know. We don't need that.
I hear you, girl.
Okay. Speaking of shows and stuff, I said that I was going to be chatting with you like a week ago, and people asked me questions to ask you.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Let me skim through them real quick. Someone asked, are you still like in your house since your show?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, this house is beyond. I love this house. So I'm full on hardcore old house person now.
That's your love.
I am smitten and I can't ever not be. So I love this old house. We're building a porch. I can't wait for y'all to come over and see it. We built a porch this summer because this house just says sit on a porch. You know, I'm 105 years old, sit on a porch. Uh-huh. And so we built a porch that is just so pretty. And I don't know. You know, our house is kind of little. All of our rooms are little. All the spaces are little. Well, who cares? I don't even... me and the kids were having this conversation yesterday because Remy said that in her next life, when she's an adult, she wants a mansion.
Every kid does, right?
Yeah, she wants a mansion. Uh-huh. And I was telling her, I'm like, no, you do not want a mansion. That is more stuff to fill, more stuff to clean. I'm like, this house is little and we can have it just tidied up in a hot minute. But anyway, yes, the answer is yes. I love this house. I love our chickens. I love this little plot of ground. Anyway.
And you have this office now, which is amazing.
I have this office, which was literally just a nasty old shed. And so I'm so thankful for it. You know, I've never had an office before. And so I'm super grateful for this house. I love it. Anyway, thanks for asking.
Is the office where you wrote your new book?
This office is where I wrote my new book.
Okay, so this is your what book coming out?
This is basically
like
more or less, it's like my 11th book.
11th book. Okay, I had a conversation with Jess Connolly the other day. You know Jess?
I do. I just spent a weekend with her.
Yeah, love her. Yes, I saw her after y'all's weekend. It was so great. Which we went to a new restaurant in town, Laundromat, or that sounds like a place you wash clothes.
That can't be right.
It's something like that. Anyhow, you and Brandon should go. But anyhow, we were chatting, and I asked her 3 favorite things, which I'm going to ask you at the end too. And she told me that she picked up one of your old books and is loving it.
You know what?
Misunderstood.
She told me that, and it was so kind. I've not put an eyeball on that. I wrote that book in 2008. And maybe even 2007, to be honest. You know what? I wrote it in 2007. It came out in 2008. And I've not read it since. And she's kind of working on a book right now with similar content, like just a similar focus anyways. And I was afraid of what I had read. I wasn't sure. You know, I was early in my career, and even my life is so different now. But she was so sweet and kind about that book. And so anyway, I probably had to go back, and maybe it wouldn't be like as scary as I thought it was. But I'm grateful for all the old books, to be honest with you. Nobody read any of them.
That's so not true.
It's the truest thing I've ever said in my entire life. But it's not a regret at all for me, because first of all, learned how to be a writer. that was just so valuable.
And let's just be honest, too. You wrote with babies.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I don't even know how I did it. I mean, honestly, when I think back to having toddlers and preschoolers and a bunch of elementary age kids, I cannot even believe I cranked all that out. But I'm so grateful for it. And I learned how to take criticism. I learned how to work with an editor. And then really I think for me, the runway that I'm the most grateful for on all those early books, even though they were just like almost a non-presence in the world, is that it just gave me time to grow up like in discipleship, honestly. Like I just was not ready as a disciple to lead from a wider space. Yeah. I needed like personal growth and transformation. And so I think God just tucked me away there and gave me the chance to practice the craft while kind of growing me up spiritually a little bit and changing us a little bit. And so no regrets at all. But I love that. It is nice to hear somebody come back and say, hey, I read that. It wasn't even terrible.
Well, I think that's good to hear, too, because so many people, I mean, you just said no one read the book, but that's probably not true. But so many people know about Jen Hatmaker from, would you say 7?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the majority of my readers joined me at 7. And going back probably just a hair to Interrupted. So that's kind of how people know me, and which is great because those are a lot more indicative of sort of our hearts and kind of how we lead and what we care about ministry. But before then, well, I think about Melissa. Every time I think about this, it makes me think about Melissa. Melissa's in our supper club. And who were we talking to? I don't remember. But
I don't know.
Somebody was talking to us and just said, I don't remember, but it was like, how many, something about me.
They asked her, like, how many books you've written or something.
That's right. How many books has Jen written? And Melissa's like, she's written 2. Melissa, I've written 10.
Well, just last year she read the first one, I think.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. I cannot tell you how, like, awesome that is to me that she had no idea.
Well, maybe Joanna, whenever I get her on the show, I'll be like, I have never seen your show, but I love you anyways.
Totally.
But no, I think it's great because to look back because a lot of people are like, man, Jen has these amazing books that kind of just took off and went like crazy. But then to look back and be like, well, she's been doing this for a long time.
Oh my word. I remember when I was 29.
Right.
I mean, I've really been... That it's just so true. That whole thing about being an overnight success, that's just not even a thing.
Right.
I mean, all it just means is you didn't see somebody when they were like working in the trenches.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Totally.
It's like when someone shows up on the music scene and like, oh, where were they? Well, they've actually been working little bitty gigs like for 10 years, getting paid they get paid like $50 on a beer, you know?
Like you and I got implants and Starbucks gift cards for years, and I'm like thankful for that. I have a lot of young writers talk to me a lot when I travel, and they're just like, I want to do what you do. I want to get published. I want to travel and speak. And I mean, how did you get there? And I'm like, girl, put your head down and work. Like work hard right where you are. The internet's weird because it's kind of tricked us into thinking we can be instant success. You know, like just I want to be famous. Oh, that's another show. Dog ear. Okay, my gosh. Now I'm distracted. Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
Oh, yes. I have seen. I need to go back. Because I really like that show.
Did you watch it?
I've seen like the first 5 or something. I really like it.
That's Titus' song.
Oh, yes. The guy, yes.
And take care of my skin tags.
Yes.
It's so funny. Anyways, so I'm just like, the internet's fooled us into thinking we can skip the necessary steps of hard work, of earning our voice, of developing a craft, and of being completely obscure. And it's a bummer. We're worse for it. Yeah. To think we just can route around that somehow. So I'm always telling people, listen, I've been doing this a lot longer than you think I have. And I was so crappy at the beginning. So crappy that I'm just so thankful that we didn't have Facebook. Oh. Like, all those talks are just gone. Thank you, Lord, they're not recorded somewhere. I would not want to bear witness to that.
Aaron has these same conversations with young worship leaders.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I've actually been doing this for a lot of years, and there were some months like my family could barely eat, so
word.
Keep going.
Truest thing ever.
Truest thing ever.
Yeah.
So For the Love, your new book.
Yeah.
When does it come out?
It comes out August 18th.
Okay.
And I'm just super excited about this one. I have not written a book since 7, and I wrote 7 in 2010. So I just had a big spell there where I wasn't writing. And so this book it's been like growing like a bubble inside of me, just as I've been collecting and developing these conversations. So I'm telling you, I wrote this book so fast. I mean, it came pouring out because I had time to live. You know, sometimes I learned this early on. I wrote so many books so fast, I didn't have time to live anything new.
If you're not living, you have nothing to say.
I mean, honestly, you can tell when you read some of my writing, some of my earlier writing, you can tell that I'm pulling up from a dry well. And so this one, I hadn't written in so long, and it was so fun to write. And I've wanted to write in this format before. You and I have talked about this. I thought I would like to write the kind of book that I like to read.
Right.
I love to read an essay book, you know, just where they're kind of standalone. There's generally kind of a loose thread that runs throughout, but you can read one essay and in 10 minutes and put it down and pick up the next one and not lose it.
Right.
And so it was so fun to write. In fact, I have 2 books on this contract, and my second one's the same format, and I'm pumped. I mean, awesome. I've already started writing it because I've got all these ideas that I couldn't fit into the first one, and so.
So what's the theme that kind of goes throughout this one?
Yeah, the theme, like the subtitle of For the Love is, what is my subtitle? Hold on. It's Fighting for Grace in a World of Impossible Standards, and grace is for sure the thread. So it's loosely organized. First of all, I just wrote it all. And I thought, I'm going to write about all the things we care about.
Right.
Like our generation and all the people so that's a lot of things. Yeah. We care about God. We care about dinner.
Community, right?
We care about fashion. We care about missions. I mean, we have a lot of buckets.
Yeah.
And so rather than taking one subject and writing 60,000 words about it to death, I got to kind of do it all, which was the most fun. So it's loosely grouped into kind of you and your spirit, your own personal walk with God, like you. And then there's family, marriage, kids, parenting, home. And then there's the third section is community, neighbor, supper club,
Love it.
All that part that this just brings us so much joy. And then the last section is kind of like the world, people who believe differently than us, overseas, the whole world. And so throughout it all, it's just an enormous thread of grace. Like, we're just too hard on everyone, including ourselves. And so we need to be kinder. We need to be more gentle. We need to be more empowering and encouraging. And so I hope it'll be a relief. It's not like a long list of, here's what to do to be a better human. I mean, it's more like you're already doing okay.
Right.
Like, let yourself off the hook.
Like, don't worry about those 5 pounds. Eat the good food.
Eat the onion marmalade. I mean,
right.
Yeah, and then it's okay that we're different.
Yeah.
And we don't always have to agree about everything to love one another well. And none of us are perfect, and it's okay to just know that and say it and embrace it. And so I'm just, it's just a hard world right now. It's a hard place to live.
Very hard.
It's just, everything's so contentious, and it's so cynical, and it can even just be so mean. And I'm just tired of it. And so For the Love is kind of the antidote to all that. And it was so fun to write.
I cannot wait to read it.
I can't believe you haven't. I have
know.
a copy for you.
I just need it. I can't wait to read it.
Yes.
And we'll give one away, too.
We'll give one away. Exactly.
Perfect.
Love that.
So when it comes out, it will come in your mailbox. We'll give it one away.
Yep.
Speaking of the world being a hard place, I just thought of this. How do you talk to your kids about the racial stuff in the world? That's a heavy topic. But I asked you this because, and I talked with Tasha about this on our podcast, and she's so sweet to help me, but I really struggle with it. Yeah. I really, really, really struggle with it because I'd rather them not know.
I know exactly what you mean.
Which that does not help the situation. I know this.
I have a similar internal conflict in that at this point, at their ages and in our life, they're just kind of universally beloved in our community, right? So there was no sense of, marginalization or being different. Of course, we live down here. Well, you do too, but we both live in communities that are pretty diverse. I mean, our diversity, I think our zip code is about, I think we're around 60% Hispanic, but still, it's just, we're not in an all-white community, and neither are you.
Either am I,
so already our kids just look around and see diversity as just completely normal. And but anyway, we talk directly about it, and it's hard.
Like,
it's really
do your
hard
kids watch the news?
I'm careful about that.
Okay.
Also because so much of the way that the news is, it's just sensationalized, and I don't even want them to see some of it. I mean, they're too young to handle some of the physical brutality that we're able to just click on and watch.
Right.
And so I'm really careful about making them feel afraid. I don't want them to feel afraid. But so we take it a lot of times from a positive angle, like making sure that we have people of color in our homes, and that we're reading all kinds of different authors, and we are paying attention to all kinds of different leaders, and that just what my kids see is a robust and a vibrant, diverse community at every level, not just friends, but in leadership and their coaches and so, but the thing is, we just won't be able to escape this, and we don't want to send our kids out at 18 unprepared, right, and naive, and so so we go at it directly, but it's a hard conversation. It hurts every time.
It's so hard, and it's just, and I hear what you're saying. It's so true, like the age appropriate stuff. That's kind of what you were saying there. Yes. Like Story, I've not had one conversation about this with. She's 7, and she's pretty naive about just things. But my boys were starting to have those conversations. But I'll tell you what, it's also hard for me to have the conversation with Caden, and he is biological, white as the day. Yeah. Just because I feel like it affects my other boys more, but I think it still will hurt Caden. Yes. And I just have this, I don't want my kids to hurt for the things of the world. But then again, I need to. So we've had good conversations.
Us too.
It's stretching me very much.
Totally. And the thing is, I think that's one thing good for your listeners to hear is just that just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it's wrong.
Exactly.
Just because it's hard doesn't mean you should avoid it. Yeah. I don't think there is a way through this conversation that just, hey, that felt good. Right. That went great. At the end of every one of them, we're kind of like, but that doesn't mean we avoid it. Right. I think we still just, it's like talking about sex. Yep. I never enjoy that. Never. I never get past that and think, let's talk more about that.
That was good.
I still have to do it.
Yep. And it's funny because I told Tasha this before. I will talk to my kids about sex in a heartbeat because I see the value in it, and I don't want them to not know. But man, this feels different.
I know it does.
But we're walking through it.
But I see the value in it too because I'm so determined to raise the next generation of reconcilers. And it's the subtle inherent bias, the white supremacy that just seeps in. You don't even know it. You can't even see it. It's invisible. That is what keeps systemic racism going. And so there's no way to root that out other than exposing it. You cannot root out what you can't see.
Right. And I was thinking about that, the stuff that you don't even know is there. I remember as a kid one time, someone, it was a big group of people, and someone said their name, and it was clearly not a white European name. Okay, so it had, I think it was maybe an African name or something. Okay. And I remember someone being like, that is such a funny name. That's a weird name. And that memory is in my head, and I thought about it literally 4 days ago, and I thought, that is seeing that everything that I know is normal is right.
That's right. That's one thing I've learned so much in this dialogue is that, in general, a white person thinks about white culture, they would call that normal.
Right.
So that is normative, and everything outside of that is not. And so that is one of those very, very subtle things.
You don't even know it.
No, but it helps us just make people very other.
Uh-huh.
You know, we can other everybody because they're not our normal. And so that's just a privilege. I mean, it really is. We get to feel like we're the center of the universe at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And so talking to our kids about that, like we've had a really good conversation a couple of weeks ago about the Confederate flag. You know, that the whole thing over in Charleston with the flag. And then we have real tight connections here in our community because before we moved here, but not that long ago, between like 10 and 15 years ago, the Confederate flag was flown at our kids' high school.
What for?
That's like it's like the rebels. That's their mascot.
Oh.
And so they flew, you know, before, I'm not sure when it happened, but, you know, they removed it but it was a big deal in this community apparently. And people were mad and, you know, the whole argument. And so, you know, we were able to bring that contextually, like literally to our kids' doorstep and
like
say,
this happened
is
here.
not far.
Right.
This is not far. I mean, and this is what it means. And I could hear, I was so glad we had that conversation because all of a sudden my kids are I am hearing this white narrative come out of their mouths. No, it's, you know, it's just about, that's not about racism. It's about Southern life. And I was like, oh, they've been hearing, they had a narrative in their head about the Confederate flag that I did not even know they had just from being in this community. And so, man, I came in like a wrecking ball.
I came in like a wreck. Okay.
And so it was a hard conversation, but good. But it was, you know, our littles, Ben, just so tender about it, cried, and it's just not easy. But there's but rooting up racism is not easy.
You know, I just read. Clearly, I probably had to read this in high school, and I just did not. I did not enjoy reading when I was younger.
You told me that,
and I love it now. But I read just on vacation 2 weeks ago To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh yes.
And clearly, I surely had to read that in high school, but I didn't. Anyhow, I cried through it. I mean, I don't know if you do you remember? Have you read it recently at all?
I read it when I turned 30. That was the time I'd read it. Yeah.
And I cried through it. And I know that there's a lot. I think it's different for me now as having children of color. And even in the book, they talk a lot about how the kids that were mixed race, they talk so meanly about them, almost even worse than the black people in the community. And that's like my deacon.
Yeah.
And I remember just feeling, and my first thought, obviously, was like, when my kids read this, how is this going to make them feel?
Yes.
You know. But it was so good. I loved it.
I know. I mean, it's a classic for a reason.
Exactly.
I mean, it really, really is. And to have an Atticus, you know, Finch was important at that time. Mm-hmm. When was To Kill a Mockingbird written?
I mean, I think it was written in, I'll look it up, but I think like the 60s, huh? 60s,
that's what I thought too. I mean, that was a progressive and an important storyline at the time. And it still is today. Side note, this is why I don't want to read.
Can you tell me what's happening? I don't even know.
What is it called, Jamie?
Go Set a Watchman or something like that?
Yeah. Go Set a Watchman.
It was published in 1960, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes. So, you know, basically this was Harper Lee's. Okay, if I have this wrong, I'm sorry to your readers. It was the first draft of the book, right?
Go Set a Watchman?
Uh-huh.
That's what I've heard too.
The first draft of To Kill a Mockingbird, which got shelved, and she reworked it. I don't want to give too much away because...
But I think everything you've said you can read on the internet.
Okay, that's true. That's a great point. So what I'm hearing, and the reviews are like, they're thumbs down like everywhere.
I know.
You know, and first of all, there was some sort of weird thing that kind of got wrenched out of her hands and maybe published against her will. So just from a literary standpoint, I'm thinking, wow, that was not a good start. But, you know, what I've heard is that our Atticus...
I know. Don't say it.
No. So I'm just unprepared to read a narrative where Atticus is anything less than heroic.
Right?
I don't want to. I don't want to think of him differently.
I have heard mostly, and again, I have not read that much about it. I have heard mostly you're going to hate Atticus. It's going to lose his like heroism that you have in your brain about, not heroism, but he stood up for something that nobody else was in that book. But then I also heard people say like, it's a good story. But yeah, I'm torn.
I know. Nish was just telling me on Twitter yesterday that I have to read it or she's not going to talk to me anymore.
She likes
Apparently she loved it.
Okay.
I mean, Harper Lee is such a good writer too, and the setting, the storylines, are all just very fascinating and just nuanced. But I think maybe I love To Kill a Mockingbird so much that I just don't want to mess with it.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for sure.
Okay, maybe if you read it first, you can come back and tell me your thoughts. I'm prepared to not read it.
I'm prepared to not read it as well because I loved Atticus so much,
Yes. Yes.
What are you reading right now?
Well, I just bought a whole bunch of books. So I bought one book yesterday. I texted Jessica Honecker from the bookstore because she was telling me about a book that she loved so much. It's called Girl Boss. Have you heard her talk about it?
I've heard her talk about it, yeah.
Yes. And so it's a memoir, which I both love.
We love them, yeah.
Love memoirs. And I just I can't remember what business this gal is. Something techie. Look, I don't even know. I literally just bought it on Jessica's recommendation. But I love stories of women who are ambitious and they have this great vision and they're strong and they're just business savvy. And I mean, it makes me think of Jessica. So
for sure.
I just bought Girl Boss. We leave on vacation tomorrow and I plan on reading like 3 or 4 books.
Nonstop, yes.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
What are you reading?
I just picked up a book called The Martian.
I don't know. I'm not happy about the title.
I'm not either, but this does not sound like a book I would ever read because it's like sci-fi, and that is definitely not in my genre either. But it's kind of memoirish sci-fi, if that even makes sense.
I don't even know what that means.
This guy, this sounds so like you're not going to like it, neither am I, but I'm going to read it. He got left on Mars. Okay?
Wait a minute. Is this just turned into a movie with Matt Damon?
Yes.
Okay, I know. Okay. I get it now.
So he gets left on Mars, and they all think he's dead, but he's like journaling through his time there. So it's kind of memoirish, but fake.
Are you into it a little bit? Like, how far are you in?
Well, I got the large print from the library, and I'm on page 21. So basically that means like page 4. But I like reading books before I see the movies. It's like a really good thing I like to do.
Yeah.
And someone told me that I will love this, even though it's sci-fi.
I'm proud of you for going outside of your genre. I tend to like pigeonhole myself a little bit into the handful of styles that I really like. Yeah. But I've been surprised before. I mean, I remember one of the books that surprised me the very most because I didn't think I would like it. It was, you know what? It sounds a lot like what Erin is writing. It was historical. There is a word for that.
I know. I need to learn it.
You know what I think it is? I think it's historical narrative. Historical narrative, something.
It's like, it's a true story, kind of, but you can embellish it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you don't change the course of their life. Yeah.
It's fact-based. It involves a ton of research and
time. Yes.
And all that.
Yeah.
Then you sort of craft the dialogue and the how. Yes. Anyway, I read Devil in the White City. I'm sure, have I ever talked to you about this?
No.
He's written several, what is his name? Devil in the White City. I forgot his name. This is his niche. He takes like really fascinating moments in history and writes them in that way. And so this was a combination. First of all, I love history.
Eric Larson.
I love American history, like in the late 1800s and early 1900s. I just think it's so interesting. And so he takes like the World's Fair that came to Chicago in the late 1800s. At the same time, there was a serial killer in Chicago, like killing all these people, and just writes this whole fascinating account of what it was like for Chicago to win the World's Fair, and then this killer. Anyway, it would not have ever been my genre. And somebody, my girlfriend Susanna, said, "I think you would like this," and I'm like, "I think I would not. That doesn't even sound."
It sounds interesting.
Fascinating. I mean, I gobbled it up so much. And so he's also written about like the Lusitania and all these just interesting historical threads. But I'm taking a rabbit trail. My point is sometimes we go outside our
Sometimes
genre.
we go out. Now, I read a book this summer but that I've been a little leery to talk about just because I don't know if people think bad about me, but I'm just going to go for it.
Oh,
Gillian Flynn.
Oh, yeah.
Dark Places.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
I mean, it is like... It's a rated R book for sure.
Uh-huh. Is it like rated R because of
there's violence.
Uh-huh.
Her family's murdered. So
Okay.
I'm not giving anything away either. But it was a book where several times, I mean, it was so, I couldn't stop. I mean, literally, I'm on vacation on a boat in the middle of the ocean, and I get on with my book, and the boat driver's like, are you really going to read? And I was like, yes, I have 20 pages left. I will read. I mean, it was one of those where I'm like,
yeah.
I don't care where I am, I have to finish this book. But it was a little difficult in some ways.
Well, I don't care about rated R.
Did you read Gone Girl?
I did not like it.
Oh, yeah, you said that.
I did not like it at all. I thought it was dark and...
Then you would not like this.
Dark. I mean, I will read a heavy story. I'm not some Pollyanna.
Yeah.
But I just did not like it. I just felt like, this is so twisted.
So twisted. Okay, this is too. It's very twisted.
She's just got a twisted mind. Like, who can come up with that?
And I look at her picture in the back, and she looks so, like, joyful and so, like, just like, yes, like, just like you and I. And I'm like, where does this come from? How does she sleep at night?
I mean, even just to come up with the narrative, I'm just, after Gone Girl, I was just like, maybe Jillian isn't exactly
your author.
I'm prepared to try again. Like, would you say that Dark Places gave you the same sort of feeling, like, about humanity as Gone Girl?
It was worse.
Oh, Jay.
I mean, there's like no hope.
That's it. It's like there's no redemption. The end.
There's no redemption. No.
Okay, I'm gonna have to pass.
Yeah, it was hard.
I don't have a good gear for that. What's the matter with me? Maybe I only like happy books.
No, it's okay. So those are the last 2 books I read: Dark Places and then To Kill a Mockingbird. That was my vacation read. Talk about like the ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
You just skipped right over the beach read.
Exactly. Don't ask me what books to take to the beach. Oh my gosh. But so The Martian has a movie coming out, so that always makes me want to read the book.
Okay, well, if you tell me that you like it, I would give it a try.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I've never read anything like that before.
Yeah.
That's creative.
Someone told me they saw a picture of Matt Damon that he had his long hair and a ponytail.
Oh, I don't feel good about that.
I haven't seen it.
Do you?
I don't think I would. I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Oh, I don't feel good at all. I'm going to Google that and see for confirmation, but he's a short hair person. I think this is just plain and obvious.
You know, when I was in high school, I did not love Jesus, and I only had about 2 standards for boys.
Okay.
Those were the only 2 standards I had. Hey. No smoking and no long hair.
Oh, well, see, you had some redeeming qualities in there.
See, I know.
Long hair on a boy has to be exactly right. Like, who's somebody who has long hair that's a boy that it's right? Can you think of one?
No.
All I can think of right now are 80s hair bands, and that's not the right category.
The big.
Well, okay, no, that's not. Okay, I can't find it. I can't find one. I like a floppy hair, like Bradley Cooper, kind of how he'll push it back, or it'll be sort of floppy along at the collar a little bit. But I don't know about a ponytail. That just makes me feel so anxious.
Especially if you have short hair.
No, and Matt Damon is he's like somebody who would live on your street. You know?
Exactly, him and his sweet wife, yes.
Yeah, he should just have a short, regular person haircut, is how I feel about it.
Hey, speaking of men, your Caleb, I see pictures of him, and he is not a little boy anymore.
You'll freak out when you see him in person.
Something happened.
It did. The alchemy in his body this year is out of bounds. I told you, I'm very serious. He was at camp for 1 week. No, he was at camp for 5 days. And he came home, and I'm like, Brandon, I promise you, he is taller again in the 5 days that I've seen him last.
Crazy.
He's as tall as Gavin, who's a senior.
He's probably going to be taller, huh?
He's going to be taller. That both those boys are towering over me. I'm at that phase. I'm that mom now whose boys are taller than her. That's where we're at. So you're going to have it.
I'm going to have it. So Caleb starts 8th grade?
Caleb's in 8th. Gavin's a senior.
Okay, tell me this real quick. Senior, are you gonna cry all year, or you think you're good?
I feel like I am.
Okay.
I feel like I am. I was prematurely weepy his junior year. Everybody was like, I'm not
too early.
This is too soon, and this is too much drama. And maybe I'll just dig deeper and find it. But for me, it's enormous. It's not just Gavin, although it is Gavin because I like him so much. He's such a fun kid. But I'm just like, oh, here we go. Because like once Gavin graduates,
boom for
every
you.
other year, I lose a kid. They're all 2 grades apart, all the way down to Remy.
All the way down, they're 2 grades apart?
2 grades apart, every last one of them. And so I'm like, here we go. Every other year I launch a kid. And it just feels, I don't even know. It feels sad. And it feels weird. It feels weird. This is something that I know I've learned about myself this year. When I was prematurely stressing out about Gavin. And I was like, why do I feel like, what is the matter with me? I'm sturdy. You know, I want to launch him. That's what we're doing here. That's our whole job.
Right.
And somebody helped me understand this because Remy has sobbed her eyes out about Gavin going to college, that she's never going to see him again.
I can see Remy is like the end of the world.
End of the world.
End of the world.
She's not do good with goodbyes.
Yeah.
That is her worst genre.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? And somebody helped me understand this. I'm the oldest of 4, so I left first.
You didn't go through this.
I never had this feeling ever. I never watched a sibling leave. I never was home with less kids than I grew up with.
That's so true.
So when I came home, everything was the same as it always was. All the kids were still there. And so I have never experienced this before. This is my first time to have somebody leave the house that's a kid. And so I think I'm going to do poorly. I think.
I think when you talk about that, it makes sense. Like all of a sudden, you'll look around, you'll be like, someone's missing. Like you're counting heads and you're one less.
That's weird.
Uh-huh.
I mean, when I try to think about my house, like just without Gavin in it, I don't know I don't know how to think about that space. I don't know how to think about.
It's weird.
He just occupies a very important part.
I know.
And so anyway, I feel excited for him because he's so fun and he's such a great kid, and he's just gonna be fine. And but I just, anyways, I think you're gonna expect a lot of drama for me this year. Yeah.
I just talked to both of our friends, Susie Davis, about kids leaving. Because, you know, she's done it.
And she's done it so well.
She's done it so well. And she was like, Jamie, they're going to be ready.
Yeah.
It is like this is what you said. This is what happens. It's our job, and they're ready. But she also talked about struggling with and I don't want to talk about this, but like parenting kids once they're gone. Like, what does that look like? Oh my gosh.
Well, that's a whole other thing. And it's apparently not, easy. Like, it doesn't get a ton easier. Because you have to figure out how to parent
an adult
controlling.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some parts where you just back out of it, and so I don't know. We don't know how to do that.
But they're still stupid. I mean,
well, only like 22.
Right. Yeah.
Think about how smart we were.
Yeah. Hello. Okay. So, what are some 3 things that you're loving right now, Jen? Okay. Tell us your 3 favorite things right now. Like, if you were to text a girlfriend and be like, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you about this."
All right. Well, here's one, and I think I've mentioned this before, but it's so perfect for the summer, and I've reignited my love for it. The thing is, I don't drink enough water. I never have, but I don't want to. Like, I don't want to.
You don't like just water taste.
I just don't want to drink water.
Yeah.
I would rather drink anything else. Coffee and wine. That's what I want to drink.
All day.
I wish that could be all the hydration I needed.
Right.
And I
wait, time out real quick.
Okay.
I always justify if I drink like a lot of coffee in one day, I'm like, well, I had to use water to make it.
Well, it is technically made up of water.
See, so there you go.
So it's not a full loss.
Right.
But I don't drink Cokes. I quit drinking Cokes like 7 or 8 years ago. And so somebody taught me this, and it is so legit. I started drinking LaCroix, sparkling water, the coconut flavor. So it's like 0 calories. It's all natural. It's not like chemicals like Coke. So coconut, LaCroix, and I'll just squeeze into it about half a fresh lime. I'm telling you, first of all, it's like a soda. It's carbonated and delicious, and it tastes like the beach, and it's this coconutty lime. I mean, I could literally drink a gallon of it a day. And so I feel so good about myself. Plus, lime is a fruit.
Hello.
So it's like water. I've always told people, I'm always trying to fix water.
Yeah.
And to me, this fixes water in the best possible way. And so that's my favorite summer drink. I pour it all day long, and it makes me feel like I'm having something special instead of just dumb water.
Do you drink it out of the can, or do you put it in a cup with ice?
Cup with ice.
Oh, look at you.
Sure.
I drink LaCroix like it's going out of style, but I don't ever put it in a cup.
What flavor do you drink?
Right now I have, they have this passion fruit that I just tried, and then some kind of, cranberry.
Do you like them?
Yeah, see, the coconut that you like, I'm not a coconut fan.
Oh, right.
So that makes me nervous.
Yeah, it's a love-hate on coconut, and I love.
Yeah. But I love all of the flavors, lemon, lime, and plain.
Do you?
Because I can take a
I learned to love sparkling water when I traveled last year to Rwanda with Nude Day and IJM. We had sparkling water. Well, that's like a thing that you have over there, right. Still or bubbly.
Yes.
Is that what they call it? Still?
Still or sparkling or still or...
I think it's bubbles.
Bubbles? Ooh, I love that. I would think they were bringing me champagne if they said that, but...
Well, Jen Haugen, Gary Haugen's wife of IJM, taught me to like sparkling water plain.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm like, what have I been missing? I don't know why I had such hatred for it all this time. It's so yummy.
It's like you're drinking soda.
It is.
Yeah.
It's 0 calories, and it's water, really.
Yeah.
So anyway, everybody can feel good about themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one thing that I'm loving. A second thing that I'm loving, this could have fit into an early category, but I wanted to save it for the 3 things that I love because I super loved it. I just finished reading The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk
I've seen
Kidd.
this everywhere.
Yes. Did you read Secret Life of Bees? That was her,
Oh, I saw the movie.
I thought you kept saying about reading
I do. I didn't know there was a book before I saw it.
That was a big fail. I'm serious. You need to go back and read that. She is a spectacular... She's good at this. And so The Invention of Wings was so good. It was so good that I finished reading it, at like 3:30 a.m.
Is there a movie coming out? Because that will entice me a lot.
I think there's no way that there's not. I mean,
I see what you're saying.
The characters
it's that good.
Are so fascinating and there's so much depth to them, and the relationships are so nuanced and tricky, and it's written during it's just a family of like white slave owners and their staff, and a relationship between the young like white girl and a young black slave, and how they kind of grow up, and
love it.
It's like heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
And you want to throw it and be furious. And then there's redemption, and there's courage and bravery. Anyway, The Invention of Wings. I promise you that you would not regret it. And
I'm going to love it because it sounds like a book I read called The Kitchen House.
I have that book on a list to read. I have not read it.
It's good. It's the same kind of like the relationships with the children.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
I have good things about that too.
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, I don't know what it is about being a person who works from home, which you and I do for the most part. But I have just found, because I live here and I clean toilets here and I raise kids here, this is when I go into work mode, there's just something that I need to flip a couple of switches.
Yes, it's so hard.
Do you know what I mean? Yes, exactly. So what can I do to transition from this is where I live and I run this house to this is also where I'm supposed to work and be productive? So this office is incredibly useful to that end because it's a different room and I can shut the door and I can't hear anything else. But I have just found that for some reason, I think it's a mental, it's almost like a, what's the thing when you take the medicine, it's not the real medicine?
It's like when you, like spoonful of sugar? I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying? When it's...
Oh, it's like you go in a test and some people take the real one and some people take the fake one? Yeah.
What is that word?
I don't know. People are listening and they're like, this is what it is.
It's so obvious. I'm so sorry. We'll have to come back and add it later. But
it just makes you think that you're taking something that you're really not.
It's the power of suggestion that you're getting. Well, one thing that is a power of suggestion to me, that I am about to be productive, that I am flipping a switch and I am about to work and it is going to come flowing out of me naturally and easily, is that when I come out to my office to work, I light a candle, and it's a specific candle. I buy the same one over and over and over. So the smell.
It's like the little, like the Pavlov thing with the bell and the dog. Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like Pavlov. The smell triggers my brain, and if I smell it anywhere else, I'm like, oh my gosh! I'm instantly thinking of being in my office. I'm thinking of writing. I'm thinking of studying. I'm thinking of researching. Anyway, it is.
You're gonna tell us so we can all go get it?
Yeah, it's the E-Candle brand. And it is called, you know what I'm talking about?
They make them here in Texas?
They make them here in Texas. And it's called Birds of Paradise.
Okay. Birds
of Paradise. And it's this very specific smell that signals my brain to get busy working.
Did this just happen by happenstance? Like you just happened to be lighting that candle all the time and then you thought, hey. I like this. Let me
Yes.
make this my switch.
That's exactly what it was. And
Okay.
so, and that's been a long time ago. And I lied it. But so now I feel like I don't want to mess up the magic. So I'm afraid to try a different smell.
You're like, this works?
This is my magic.
Yeah.
And so it's like I just have to tilt everything just right to get the magic to work. And my Birds of Paradise candle is one of them. And so it will forever be to me my work smell.
Okay, I'm going to have to try this because working from home is so difficult for me.
Yes.
Because on 1 minute I'm recording an interview like this, and then I'm writing about it, and then I'm doing this, and then the next minute I'm like unloading the dishwasher because it's
That's
just
exactly
I can see the dishwasher from here, and that's so hard.
I mean, so I cannot tell you how many times I've been out here working, and all of a sudden I see a little face pressed to the window. Summer's
It's so hard when you work from home.
It is so. My empathies to all of your listeners who are working from home and also raising kids in the summer. It's just I feel like I've never actually done it well in the summer. Never.
And here's the funny thing too. We all start the summer with like a game plan. Like, this will work. I'm going to rule this summer, and you kids are going to love it. You're going to have fun, and I'm going to work, and it's going to be awesome. And then week 3, you're like, this is the worst thing ever.
Oh my gosh. That is the funniest thing because it is just so true. We wrote a huge bulletin board. we called it the board, like BORED,
right.
BOARD, the board. I'm like, listen, we're going to the library, first of all, every week, obviously. And we're not going to be watching TV. I had such good plan. I do it every summer. And somewhere in the middle, you're just like, God, it's so hard to keep caring.
Yep.
It's so hard to keep caring about your brain development.
Yep. So starting this summer, my kids had to read for 30 minutes every day and do these workbooks that I buy for them every day for 30 minutes. And they hate it. But I'm like, we're going to keep our brains fresh.
Look at you.
No, those workbooks have not seen the light of day since like June 7th. And they're not complaining, but whatever. So, okay. So Jen, your book comes out soon. We're going to give away a copy of the book. I talked to our friends over at Noonday. They're going to give away 5 of the For the Love bracelets.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So those bracelets were made in Haiti. Is this correct?
They were made in Haiti by the Haitian artisans that supply Noonday, and they just work specifically with a lot of leather, and they're so skilled. I mean, they're so good at what they do. And so the Haitian artisans made the bracelet. So first of all, it is a huge order down to their co-op, which is exciting.
That's awesome, yeah.
And yeah, that's just more jobs for them. Just make some. And then even like to make good out of more good, Noonday agreed to give $5 of every For the Love bracelet purchased. So it's going to be that bracelet's available actually tomorrow. What date is available? August 5th.
Yeah. Okay, so it's available tomorrow.
It goes on sale online for individual purchase, and $5 of every sale goes to Help One Now, which is our beloved nonprofit. I'm on the board there. I believe in their work and their models so very much. And so specifically, it's going to go to Help One Now, their work in preventing trafficking in Haiti. So it's just like Haiti, Haiti, Haiti. We're sending all of our love to Haiti. We're sending our money. We're sending our funding. We're sending our support. So I'm just pumped about that.
I love that.
I know, right?
I love Haiti.
The love of Haiti.
Okay, so we're going to give away 5 of them, but you can buy them on Noonday's website tomorrow. Your book comes out August 12th, which you could probably pre-order on Amazon right now. We're also, this is super fun, we're also going to give away a pair of our dear girlfriend Tiffany Wade's earrings, which we both love and adore.
Yes, we do.
So I get all the time. I got a text the other day from my friend Melanie Dale, who was on the show a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I have a girlfriend moving to Texas. I need to know where can I get those earrings that you and Jen wear all the time. And
are you serious?
Yeah. So Tiffany Wade, I always talk about the earrings that I love, and Jen has some, and these are actually the pair that you named.
Oh, Saint Cecilia.
So you named these earrings Saint Cecilia. We're going to give away a copy of those as well. Not a copy, a pair of those.
Okay, just what everyone needs to know is that the Saint Cecilias. So Tiffany asked me, what's a special place in Austin that you love? Because I want to name these. They're whatever by Jen, and that is our favorite boutique hotel in Austin. I mean, that's me and Brandon's number one go-to place. Okay, I just figured it out. I'm so sorry that there's been a piece of my brain this entire time trying to figure out that word that we couldn't figure out earlier. It's placebo. I'm Googling it on my phone. I was not going to be able to end the podcast.
You couldn't let it go.
Without having found the word placebo.
Okay.
That's what my candle is. It's placebo effect.
There you go.
Okay, onward. Anyways, the St. Cecilia's are probably my most outrageous earrings. They come to your shoulders. To your shoulders.
And they're the double layer too, right?
Yep. It's a gold and a silver double layer leather feather down to your shoulders. I mean, they're outrageous. And every time I wear them, people freak out. They love them. So
Me too.
I'm so pumped. Someone's going to get them.
Yeah, so someone's going to get a pair of those, and that is the best.
That's the best.
I wear them all the time. And what's funny to me is I get so many, like, random, like, guy opening the train door. When have I been on? I did wear them in Spain on a train, but like guy checking me out at a restaurant, be like, "Oh, I like your earrings." Like
totally,
it's so weird.
Yeah.
So whoever wins them, your husband's gonna love them, or your boyfriend, or
yes,
yeah.
You know what they are? They're just like they're a statement piece. They just kind of say, "I don't even care."
I don't even
like
care.
I don't even care if I want to wear leather feather earrings down to my shoulder blades. I will wear them,
and I can.
So. I have people tell me all the time, "Oh, I can't pull those off." I'm like, "You most certainly can too. You just put them in your ears."
There you go.
That's how you pull them off.
Yep.
And people just think, "Oh, she's the kind of person that can do that because you just did it."
The thing is, I'm not that kind of person. Like our friend Tiffany Wade that makes these, if you knew her, she can do anything. She can wear anything. Yeah. She can put on the most crazy thing, and you're like, "Wow, that looks good." I put on like a t-shirt and jeans, and it's the best.
Let's be fair. We are no Tiffany Wade.
No.
I mean, one of the first times I was ever around Tiffany, she was wearing like shiny, almost plastic gold pants.
Oh, yes. I know what pants you're talking about. Yes.
So, I mean, when Jamie says outrageous, just outrageous. And yet there she is. She walks in the door. I'm like, well, of course you're wearing that. And somehow it's working perfectly on your body.
Perfectly,
like
yes.
your gold flash pants.
Yes. Like, I don't want to stand next to her in my, like, little bitty old t-shirt dress. Like I look like I'm on the Gilmore Girls or something. Okay. So I'm going to give away all of this stuff on Instagram. I'll let you know how you can get it, and so fun. So Jen, thank you for being my 50th guest.
Woo! I love it. I love it. I want to come back on 100.
Okay. Well, you'll come on every, 50, 100. Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah. 250. Let's just keep
it going. Keep it going. Okay, guys, thanks. I'll tell you how you can win it, and check out my website, jamieivey.com, for any link we talked about. There's going to be a lot because we talked about a lot of books and places. So I'll put all those links up there so don't feel like you have to be driving and writing them down. I'll do the work for you. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks, Jen.
Bye, friend.
Guys, thanks for listening. Thank you for joining Jen and I at Happy Hour. It was so lovely to chat with her, and I know that you enjoyed it as well. Today's show is sponsored also by Nutty Snacks. Nutty Snacks are gluten-free, all-natural, high-protein, good food for you that actually kind of tastes like dessert, which I kind of like that. It's perfect for CrossFitters and endurance athletes who need a little boost to keep going. It's loved by moms who need a quality snack for their little people, and it's devoured by anyone who dares to try them. They come in 2 separate sizes. There's the convenient 2.5-ounce packs for your life on the go, throw in your bag, take them to the gym, whatever you need to do with others. And then there's the 7-ounce pack that you should probably share with your friends and not eat the whole thing. The Ivey family loves these, although Aaron and I eat them mostly because we don't want to share them with our kids because they're that good. But you should probably share, and every once in a while, while I'm feeling nice, I do as well. Anyhow, check out Nutty Snacks. It's nuttysnacks.com. And just for you Happy Hour listeners, there's a 15% off code. So it's worth checking out, and then you're going to love it. The code is HappyHour15. So go to nuttysnacks.com, use the code HappyHour15 to get 15% off your order. Okay, guys, I told you that we're going to give some stuff away. And although I told you I want to be like Oprah and start giving away cars and all kinds of products, we do have some great stuff for you today, and I'm super excited about it. Jen's graciously giving away 5 copies of her new book, plus the bracelet that we chatted about that is actually made in Haiti, which is near and dear to my heart as well. So we're going to give away 5 copies of the books. They include a bracelet. And also, our friend Tiffany Wade that we chatted about and we love because we sport her earrings all the time is giving away 2 pair of the St. Cecilia earrings. And Jen named these St. Cecilia. And so Tiffany Wade's giving those away to you. So I'm actually going to give away things to 7 people, which is so fun. And we're going to do all of this over on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. It's Jamie Ivey. And in a couple days, we'll have a giveaway, and I'll pick 7 winners, and we're going to give away books and earrings, and it's so much fun. But besides the giveaway, our friend Tiffany is like, hey, I want to give your listeners a coupon code, because we love coupon codes. And so if you want to get some earrings that Tiffany makes, which I get so many compliments on my earrings. Everywhere I go, no lie, if I have on a pair of her earrings, someone says, oh my gosh, I love those. Or can I touch those? Are those heavy? And when I post pictures on Instagram, you guys are like, where do I get these earrings? And finally, Tiffany has a webpage. And so I'm going to give you an easy thing to remember, because you can remember my webpage, jamieivey.com. So just go to jamieivey.com/Tiffany Wade. And those are her earrings. The Tiffany Wade earrings will take you there. And while you're there, buy you some earrings, because she's giving you 15% off with the code Happy Hour. So just for you Happy Hour listeners, jamieivey.com/Tiffany Wade, 15% off. Today's show is produced by Knox McCoy, and music is from the band Homestead. Next week is episode 51, and my friend Emily Freeman is joining me, and we chat about her book, Simply Tuesday, plus lots of other fun stuff. And her book actually released yesterday as well. Great book to pick up. It's less than $10 on Amazon right now, and I read it this summer and thoroughly enjoyed it. Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing with your friends. Thanks for tagging me on Instagram when you're listening to the show. That is so fun. I really do love that. Thanks for everything. Enjoy your week and get some girls together for your very own happy hour.